What is up, guys? Welcome. Crypto FUD. And let's jump right into this. Happy Monday, guys. Hope you're having a great day. It feels like it's a good day. So far, we are starting off in the green, definitely in the chat. So let's jump right into this, guys. We're not going to be here for too long. I know it's Monday. It's early. It's 10 a.m. Markets are pumping. Let's do this, guys. So right now, Bitcoin currently sitting right at around 113,657 to be exact. Ricky, what's going on, buddy? You can see a nice move towards the upside. Obviously, we were consolidating for a little while. We already know that. Nice moves towards the upside. Looks like we've so far have come up to hit our head at around that 113,780. That's a spot that we've had already as some kind of resistance. You can see we had a nice little bounce on that before we did drop previously. And on our way back up, we are testing it again. We are on the 4-hour here, so hopefully we can, let's go down to a smaller frame, but hopefully we can see some nice movement where we can at least stay around this area, somewhere around that 113.7 area and keep retesting so we can at least break out of this area right here. But things are looking good. It is still the end of September. We're going to talk about everything that's going on. Today, there actually is a big thing going on in, I believe, in Washington in regards to crypto. We're going to cover that. Ethereum finally breaking out. Nice support. Right now, Ethereum hitting it around that 4170 area. But really, the big area that that I'm just like ecstatic is that we at least found the 4100. This is again on the 4-hour chart. You can see a nice move towards the upside, come back, retest that 4100 area, which we've been talking about for the last 6 months as a big area that we have to stay as support if we're going to stay bullish on Ethereum. Nice bounce on the 4-hour 4 times, and you can see a nice little run up as of now. So this is a consolidation area that we do have. We were consolidating in this area before the drop, just like Bitcoin. Top of the area is going to be somewhere around that 42, and obviously the bottom is going to be somewhere around 4130 as of now. So things are looking good, guys. Obviously across the board, we are in the green. What's going on, Jay? Jay's ready for the pump. You already know, bro. I know the members are ready. We've been talking about this for how long? September feels like, in the crypto world, September felt like it has just taken so long. You know, in normal life, obviously, it just flies by. But in September, it just felt like it's been like 4 months is what it felt. What it's felt like, right? Across the board for the daily, you can see nothing but green. Obviously, we do have a couple red. This Falcon Finance down 34%, Plasma down about 9%, and we have Ether.fi down about 2.5%. But across the board, nice green. Crow's up about 7%, Hyperliquid up 8%, Pump.funds up 11%, Zcash, SPX 6900 up 7%. I mean, across the board, like I keep saying, looks great. Doge finally up 3%. BNB up 4% as well. So it looks good. Jay said, I didn't use caps this time. Oh, it's all good, bro. It's all good. I'm used to you yelling at me, all right? I'm used to it, so it's all right, bro. I'm messing with you. I'm just messing with you. But yeah, man, things are looking good, guys. They really are. I'm sorry I haven't really been, well, my members have seen me, right? But I haven't really been streaming, to the normal public just because September's been brutal. And I don't say brutal as in like price action. I mean, if you really think about it, in the last like few weeks, we dropped down to what, 108,000? It really hasn't been that brutal, but it's just been so boring, like sick of fork in your eye. Just I'll be back when we start pumping, right? And speaking of, look at that. Bitcoin just broke out again, 113.8. We're almost at 113.9. Things are looking good. Let's just jump in. What the hell is going on for today? Why are we getting such a boost? Well, couple things. There's a couple things that are going on right now, right? Obviously, a lot of liquidations right now. A lot of liquidations as of now. I'm actually going to bring that up. Let's see here. Let's look at liquidations. Look at that. Bitcoin right now. These are guaranteed shorts. Yeah, almost $36 million in just shorts that have been liquidated. And you have about $18 million in liquidations and shorts. Right here, this is helping, right? Obviously, this isn't what initially is running us up, but this is basically helping us, keeping those jets, those rockets fueled up, continuing us to move towards the upside as more shorts are getting basically wrecked as of now. A lot of people were probably anticipating running shorts a little bit longer, thinking that because September technically goes up until, I believe, Wednesday this week, a lot of people are probably keeping those shorts. Maybe some people don't even realize they're not even going off of anything with September, right? They're just, the market's bearish. We were slightly bearish, and look what's happening. You end up getting wrecked because you're getting greedy over here. So a lot of liquidations going on. That's helping. Definitely a nice little short squeeze. September, are we gonna actually end September in the green? Normally and if we go back to like 2021, September technically is a bad month. Like we've always talked about it, right? Even looking at all of September of all of Bitcoin's history, it actually has been more red than green. Are we going to end in the green this September? Possibly. We did have I'm not going to say brutal, but we did have an unusual August where we did see a nice little sell-off. You can see last month we ended negative 6.5%. This month, it was, we basically continued that downward move, kind of sideways action, for the last like 2 weeks or whatever the case is, 2 to 3 weeks. Now that we have a few days left for September, it's looking like if things don't change from where we're at right now, right? Because obviously this is crypto. I could go off of air, off live, and 5 minutes later, the market is right back down to where it was. It's not going to happen like that, but you guys understand what I'm saying. So as of now, September looks like we are going to actually finish in the green. And I think that would be amazing, right? If we can get September to end somewhere around like 5-6% plus, meaning like we're at probably ending in the next couple of days, $115,000, $116,000 for Bitcoin going into Pumptober, right? That would be awesome because we have a lot of big things going on in October, guys. And this is what we've been talking about for the last 4 weeks. And on our member stream, we had been talking about September all of August, right? I had been pre-warning. A lot of us already knew, but just going over it and reiterating that September tends to be, just for whatever reason, a shakeout month, not only for crypto, but for the stock market as well. It's a shakeout month where a lot of people, weak hands, get shaken out of their positions, right? A lot of people get bored. They sell out of their positions, right? And the smart ones are usually the ones that are catching those dips, accumulating, knowing what usually happens at the end, final quarter of the year. October, November, and usually December tend to be big months, not only just in regular years, but during bull runs, right? Those 4-year cycles. October, especially in November, are usually those golden months where, if everything plays itself out, this is probably going to be our months right here where we're going to be seeing some massive gains going on. Again, we don't know if the 4-year cycle is going to play out. That's what we've been kind of planning for as far as on our member streams. The 4-year cycle topping out maybe sometime in most likely November, December time, right? But there are a lot of things pointing to where we could easily roll over somewhat into 2026. So better to be prepared, right? But we'll let everything play itself out. So hopefully this Pumptober that we're rolling into is nothing but solid. Going back to 2021, which was the last 4-year cycle, you can see October, 40% gain in just Bitcoin. Imagine if Bitcoin was to run 40% right now, what would 40% look like for Bitcoin? I'm curious. Let's pull up a different chart here so we can get all these lines out of the way. 40% from where we're at right now. Let's see here. I wonder what... Bro, I'm going to have to like zoom out. Could you imagine 40% gain in Bitcoin right now? Hold on. That would be... Bro, I don't even have enough space. Hold on here. 40% gain in Bitcoin. All right, there we go. 40% gain would put us somewhere around 160K for Bitcoin. That'd be absolutely insane. Just imagine that. Imagine that. 40% gain just in October alone. Just in October alone. Let me see. Let's go back over. Did 2021. Okay, and then we kind of retrace slightly at the end of November, right? So we went in 40% closing in October of 2021, we easily could have, we did, right? I can pull up the chart. We easily continued to run, but by the end of November, the market already topped and we were coming down fast. So it actually closed negative 7%. But just imagine 40% pump on Bitcoin. Imagine what the rest of this market's going to be doing. 40% for Bitcoin, a $2 trillion asset. Imagine what your small caps, your mid caps, and even your large caps, especially some of them that we're going to be talking about here in a second that potentially have ETFs coming in the next coming weeks. I think we are going to see a pump like we've never seen before. I honestly do think. I think it is very, very much on the table. So I don't think we're bullish enough, honestly. I don't think we're bullish enough. Jay said, what are your predictions for certain coins this Pumptober? I mean, honestly, bro, I don't want to get ahead of ourselves. Let's let the market do its thing. Let's get into Pumptober. But I mean, if things play themselves out like I just showed you, if we even get like a 20% run on Bitcoin, you're probably going to see at some point, right? If Bitcoin's pumping 20%, it's not going to do it in a day, but you're saying in the next few weeks, we start every week we're seeing like a 5, maybe 6%, 7% move with Bitcoin. You're going to probably start seeing, like I said, you're going to easily see like Solana breaking $300 easily, right? You're going to be seeing XRP, Solana XRP. Those are the two projects that we're going to talk about that potentially have ETFs. We've already talked about this plenty of times that are coming. Those could easily double. Literally in October, right? And that sounds crazy, but it's not far-fetched at all. And then imagine what meme coins are going to do, right? Some meme coins are going to outperform others. We already know that, but just imagine just across the board, some of these meme coins that we've been buying in have like $10 million market caps that are on central exchanges too, right? These aren't just little small meme coins. They've just been beat down so bad, right? No Diddy, that imagine what they're going to do when this thing finally finalizes and we're pumping. It's going to be crazy. And I know it's crazy. You might think I'm trying to hype you up. I mean, you making money, I want it, right? I want you guys to make as much money as possible, but it's not going to change my pockets, right? So me hyping you guys up is not going to benefit anything. I'm telling you the truth from what I've seen in 2021 when we've gotten into the stage going into these last 3 months, what potentially could happen is insane. It honestly does. It feels surreal sometimes. It really does. Ricky said maybe ETH will decide to dominate once again to bring the alts above water level. I mean, that's for sure going to happen, bro. Ethereum's going to break $5,000. There's just no question about it, right? We know Ethereum's going to break $5,000. Do you remember those predictions that we were talking about from Tom Lee just literally 6 weeks ago, talking about $10,000 by December? Just imagine that. You're talking in 3 months, easily breaking at least $5,000, right? And I'm saying probably in the next month, we'll probably see at least a $5,000 big Ethereum. Hopefully we don't see a $5,000 Bitcoin. But if we do, I'm buying. So we're about 18% away for Ethereum to break highs, which is close to that $5,000 mark anyway. So, but yeah, big things. September, the way it looks right now is we're going to be closing in the green. We'll see. Regardless, we have October ahead of us, so big things coming. So let's talk about this. Let's see here. So I guess today, I didn't know this. This is as of today, right? Yeah. The 29th, yep. So will today's 1 p.m. joint meeting change Bitcoin's rules? It's a new day. SEC CFTC. I don't know what that means, but let's run it. So the Security and Exchange Commissions and the Commodity Futures Trading Commission host a joint roundtable on regulatory harmonization for digital assets today from 1 to 5:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's going to be streaming on the sec.gov if you're looking to watch that. Opening remarks, I'm sure there's going to be a lot of people streaming it as well. Opening remarks will come from the SEC Chair Paul Atkins and CFTC Acting Chair Caroline D. Farm, with closing remarks from the SEC Commissioner Hester M. Pierce, and the agenda brings executives from Intercontinental Exchange, CME Group, and NASDAQ together with Kraken, Polymarket, and Kalshi. In a joint statement earlier this month, Atkins and Pham I don't know if that's the same. Framed the effort as a move to give markets clarity, saying it's a new day at the SEC and the CFTC, and today we begin a long-awaited journey to provide markets the clarity we deserve. The session places the long contested boundary between secretaries and commodities under a single camera feed, which matters for where assets can trade, which disclosures apply, and some surveillance is coordinated. According to the SEC agenda, discussions block center on jurisdiction tests, listings, and exchange supervisions, with time reserved for public market plumbing such as data sharing and surveillance cooperation. I don't know what this surveillance thing is. Kind of scary, huh? At the same time, the CFTC is moving on tokenized collateral, announcing last week an initiative to take comments on the use of stablecoins and other tokenized assets for margin and derivative markets, a signal that collateral policy will be part of today's conversation. Let me just fast forward to immediate consequences. Let's see here. So the flows and market structure give the roundtable immediate consequences. The U.S. spot Bitcoin ETFs continue to pull in or shed hundreds of millions of dollars on single days, providing a high-frequency barometer for regulated demand. Per Farside investors, net flow swings this month range from modest outflows to large single-day inflows across the corridor, led by biggest funds. I just want to see what today they're announcing, or they're going to be basically discussing. I want to see what are they, because obviously this is going to be for regulation, right? So we want to see what exactly are they regulating. We did cover a lot of news about this already. And one thing that they did express was that there were proposals for them to basically, what they're looking to regulate are central exchanges, right? And obviously ETFs, stuff like that. We're going to see a lot of ETFs going into the stock market and stuff like that, other than Bitcoin and Ethereum. But one thing that they did mention, I remember this very boldly, is that they were trying and they wanted to leave DeFi alone, right? I don't know how long that's going to last, because if you guys, I know all of us know this, we trade mostly in DeFi, a lot of us, if you're able to, right? So you can save off of fees for central exchanges. You look at the DeFi world as obviously the wild, wild west of crypto, right? There's absolutely no regulations. You can easily get wrecked. You can easily make a lot of money in DeFi, but it's in the shadows, right? It's in the shadows. You're using your DeFi wallet. It's basically, no one really knows what's going on over there. Obviously, you can trace wallets and stuff like that, but it's off central exchanges. I don't know how long they're going to allow that, where they're going to allow all that shadow playing being made over there without Uncle Sam or whatever the case is being able to at least keep an eye out on what's going on over there. I hope that they don't touch it, because I think I always tell you guys, DeFi. I use leverage trading as the casino, right? I say the leverage trading is you're going to the casino, right? It's high risk, could be high reward. You got to be very cautious. I also tended to refer to it also with DeFi, just because it's high risk. You have to be very careful, right? But at the same time, what we love is that we can buy and sell, swap, send, without having to deal with any kind of a Coinbase or a Binance or a Crypto.com, charging you out the ass, or even keeping an eye on what you're doing. So I hope when all this is all said and done, they make it safer for your normal crypto, exchanges. Because at the end of the day, the reason why we want this is because obviously first of all, if the regulations come, if you notice when you go on Robinhood, if you're on Robinhood and certain exchanges like Webull that trade stocks as well, your account actually is insured, right? Up to, I believe it. Robinhood says $1 million. I'm pretty sure federally it's $250,000, right? But your Crypto.com, I don't know about Coinbase. I'm pretty sure about Coinbase and all these all crypto exchanges, these central exchanges. they're not insured, right? So if shit happens, it's up to the central exchange to make it right. If they get hacked or whatever the case is, if they're able to start bringing, basically outlining rules and safeguards, I'm sure that's going to be following as well, to where they're going to be able to eventually ensure your portfolio that's on central exchanges and stuff like that. So that's why I think that would be good, because then you'll start seeing even more money flowing into the crypto space, and less people thinking that crypto is just basically a scam or some kind of just it's a fad that's going on right now. It's going to go off. Yeah, a $4 trillion asset is not a fad, right? It's only going to keep building and building and building. And I'm glad that we're at least starting to see, a lot of this stuff outlining, and starting to get ahead of the curve, right? Because we've been behind the curve for so long. So Marco said, "Me lady, Bill, what's going on, bro? Is me lady running right now?" I mean, she's not running, bro, but she's up almost 1%. Me lady's gonna run, bro. I keep telling you guys that, right? I keep telling you guys, at some point, me lady is gonna freaking explode, right? It's not today, not right now, not right now. So this is gonna be at 1 o'clock today, at 1 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. If you guys want to check that out, I'm sure we'll get a lot of news from it. So other than that, fresh ETFs filing boost Solana price. Will this boost Solana's price here? So what is Solana sitting at right now? Solana's at 210. It broke back above 200. We did briefly break down below. We went down to about 191. We are, like I said, above 210 as of now. Let's see here. So after significant correction from recent highs, Solana has found its footing at a high time frame support zone near $200. This area is proven technically critical, coinciding with both the 618 fib retracement and the VWAP support. Let's see here. The confluence provided an ideal environment for a rebound, which has now materialized. The technical bounce has also been amplified by fundamental drivers, with renewed excitement around ETF filings, strengthening Solana's recovery and adding momentum to its bullish structure. Let's see here. So Solana's retracement from its recent push towards 260 tested traders' confidence as the price broke down into the 200 region. This level was notable for its strong confluence, combining high timeframe support, the 618, and the VWAP. Historically, Solana has respected the fib retracement levels during a corrective phases, often using these zones as springboards for a continuation. The confirmation of a bounce at this area once again underscores the strength of the Fibonacci-based support on Solana's price behavior. And then you can see right here, this is basically from Grayscale, right? This is Grayscale right here, filing the ETF trust for Solana, right? We will get the decision, I believe, at some point in October, right? They're saying basically right here, they're guessing these are going to be approved within the next 2 weeks, which would put it around mid-October. I'm not going to say this is like guaranteed, but I can probably tell you with Solana and XRP, we're probably looking at probably an 80 to 90% chance that these ETFs are going to get approved, right? Again, I've said this plenty of times about Solana particularly. I think XRP is going to benefit. I want to say initially a lot faster than Solana from the ETF approval, just because XRP, them winning the case, they're a little bit more of a household name, so you're going to see a lot of people when that ETF gets approved, that they're probably going to be jumping in on the ETF. Solana, a lot of people know about it. We obviously know everything about Solana. I think Solana is absolutely probably the best ecosystem that there is as of now. But I think that down the road, this is going to benefit Solana like crazy, almost like how the ETF for Ethereum was, right? When the ETF dropped for Ethereum, remember, it really was a nothing burger. It just recently, in the last 2 months, 3 months, just doubled, from like $5 billion to $10 billion in inflows, right? Showing you that a lot of institutionals finally started to pile in on Ethereum, but it took a while. And I think that's going to be the same thing for Solana particularly. So we'll see how that plays out. Now, for Solana with the ETF particularly, and this could really go for XRP as well, we've already started to see higher highs being made, higher lows being made. I wouldn't be surprised as long as the market stays, and Bitcoin just broke 114, by the way, while I'm talking. Let's see here. Bitcoin just broke 114. I'm going to go back to Solana real quick, but I want to pull up this other Bitcoin chart. Nice. So we broke above that level that we were talking about at the beginning of the stream, that 113, we'll call it 113.8 area as of now. So things are cooking right now, guys. Things are cooking. But again, just back to Solana real quick. I wouldn't be surprised if the market continues to move like it's moving right now. Solana's probably going to explode in the next, as it's going to continue to move up, but we're probably going to see some big moves towards the upside for Solana and XRP. I say for Solana, it's not far from all-time highs, right? The top of this fib right here, you can see we're about 39% away. I know that seems like a massive move, but it really is not, given that Solana's market cap isn't like a Bitcoin market cap. It is a very large market cap, but I mean, it's not going to take as much money, obviously, to move Solana versus like Ethereum or Bitcoin. So we could easily see in these next week or two, Solana potentially getting close to that $300 mark with some kind of buy the rumor, sell the news event potentially happening when these ETFs, start to look like they're going to get approved. And then when they do get approved, you guys know how the story goes with crypto. I'm not expecting a massive crash, right, if Solana gets up to 300, but wouldn't be surprised if we see some kind of big move and then we see a little bit of a retracement the day before, the day of. You guys know how it goes. It happens every time, right? But long term, this is nothing but very bullish for Solana. And another thing too is if you are trading DeFi on Solana particularly, your projects are going to start boosting from this as well, because remember, let's say Zbeck, right? ZBCN, Mask, all these projects that I talk about that are Solana based, they're all liquidity in Solana. So if Solana's about to see a 40% increase in price, you're going to see an increase in price on all these, at least 40%, because their market cap and their liquidity is probably going to be is going to go up when Solana goes up, up to that $300 plus mark. So you're going to see not only Solana benefiting from this, but you're going to see the whole ecosystem riding its tail as well. No diddy on that one, as Solana starts to break out potentially from these ETFs. So Johnny said, let's go XRP. XRP, where are we at today? XRP's having a decent day too. It's getting up there. We're finally getting back up towards that $3 mark again. We are. And you can see also, Johnny, nice little potential bull flag that's been formed for a while. I mean, since XRP back at the end of July made all-time highs. I believe those were all-time highs, right? I believe those are all-time highs. Looks like it for XRP. Nice little bull flag on there. So hell yeah. And you guys look like you're finding some good support at the 236, which is around that $2.84. So same thing, like I said about Solana with XRP. I honestly think XRP is probably going to see a little bit more move towards the upside, because like I said, XRP, yes, it was driven down and held down so long because of those stupid freaking cases that they ended up beating. But I think what they benefited off of it was the fact that they were on the news so much, right? The fact that they were the ones that beat the SEC, right? When everything was against crypto. With that being said, a lot of people know about XRP, right? They know about XRP just as much as they know about Ethereum. And I think when the ETF gets approved, right? When, not if, but when, I could easily see XRP breaking highs easily. And I think we're going to be soon talking about, you're hearing it right now, we're going to soon, probably, I would say, I hate to give a time frame, but maybe in the next few weeks, next month, we're talking about a $4+ XRP coming up, in my opinion. So Ricky said 114. Yes, sir. Ricky said I want to bring Epic Chain to your attention if you want to take a quick look. Jojo, what's going on, bro? Is the Milady squad about to pop back up? I'm gonna listen. We're always gonna support Milady. Oh man, I just moved my fib retracement. We're always gonna support Milady, right? But I'm gonna give her a little time. When she jumps up just a little bit more, we're gonna start really covering Milady, right? Because she's broken all our hearts with these fake outs, and stuff like that. So we're gonna give her a little bit more time. I need to move this fib retracement. I'm gonna start using a different chart too for Milady. I'm gonna keep this chart, but we definitely have to use a different chart here because it's like ridiculous. You can't even see what the hell's going on. Look at this. This thing, if this thing breaks out, bro. Milady's at like a $30 million market cap. When she breaks this blue line right here, that's the 33. We'll cover it religiously, okay? We're going to bring Milady. This is going to be back to the Milady. This is going to be Milady headquarters right here. Soon as she breaks that 33 level, all right? I'm going to have to start tagging Milady again. This is going to be the Milady headquarters. Watch. I should have bought a massive bag of Milady when it was like down here, bro. It's already starting, right? We're going to start. What you guys just heard me say is what a lot of us are going to be saying. Man, I should have bought freaking XRP at $2.80. Should have bought that Solana at $125 when it was there 2 months ago. Ricky said Epic Chain. What do we got here, bro? Real quick, before I pull up Epic Chain, I wanted to point something out as well. Market cap right now, we're sitting right under that $4 trillion mark, right? Look at fear and greed right now. Now, this is a little bit lagged. Today, we're probably already in neutral. But as of yesterday, we were sitting in fear, right? Why do I bring this up? Because I bring this up because the fact that we are literally right under all-time highs for our market cap for crypto, all of crypto, right? All-time high, I think, is around 4.2, 4.3 trillion. We're right under there, right? We're right under that, and we are in fear. Historically speaking, fear usually is a beautiful time to buy. Right now, some projects, I think you still have that green light where you can still accumulate before we start seeing these massive pumps. But the point of what I'm getting to is normally when it's time to sell is when we're in extreme greed, right? Look how much room the market has shifted to where we are still in this green zone for buys and the market cap is right under all-time highs. Just imagine what kind of pump we most likely have ahead of us here, guys. Everything right now is pointing towards a massive, massive move, not just for Bitcoin, but really for the whole freaking crypto sector. And I know it sounds crazy because we've had moves and we get rejected, and it's been like that the whole year. Guys, we are so close to historical moves as far as if you really still believe in these 4-year cycles, where we're about to be in these next few weeks. I think if everything plays out, you're not going to believe it until you see it, right? And then when you see it, you're still not going to believe it when you're looking at your portfolio. And let's just say you have a $2,000 portfolio and you were buying at all the dips. And in a week, that $2,000 portfolio turns into $5,000. You're going to be like, no way, no way. A week later, you're thinking that $5,000, that's that. And a week later, you're at $7,000. 2 weeks later, you're at 10 grand. That's how it works. I'm telling you, that's how it works. Now, it's not going to be like that for everybody, but that's the type of stuff that you see, and you get addicted to crypto, and you're like, bro, this is it right here. You just turned 2 grand into 10 grand, and you're potentially not even over with yet, right? So those are things that have happened to a lot of us to where you're like, holy crap. Now, imagine if you have 5, 10 grand, and you're doing that, right? That's what it's all about. You make this money. You have to hit that sell button, though, at some point. Gotta make those profits so you can do it all over again, right? But this is what was setting us up, and this is what we talk about in our members only stream, is really just taking advantage, paying attention to these top signals, which are going to be coming, I think in the next few months where we've topped out on the market, getting those profits and staying patient and really just preparing ourselves for some kind of a bear market that will eventually will come. Because believe it or not, you think all the money is actually made during a bull run, but you're cashing out during a bull run, but you're setting yourself up during the bear market, right? You're taking advantage when the market is absolutely decimated. Everybody is sold out. The only people that are sold in the market are the people that freaking, didn't sell. They didn't take advantage of the exit liquidity, and now they're just holding for dear life, and they're going to eventually, at some point, they're going to break, and they're going to even sell, right, for losses. That's when we're buying in, right, using those profits that we just made from the last 4-year cycle, and we're going to do it all over again, right? And hopefully you triple your money next time and triple it the next time, and that's how you accumulate money, right? So Ricky said Epic is the only chain on Ripple, so as far as you know. All right, let's pull it up. Oh yeah, I wanted to pull it up on here real quick. Epic chain. So $55 million market cap. Hold on here. Is this the correct one, Ricky? Is it Epic Chain? EOS with the $5, bro. I appreciate that, brother. If you need anything, let me know, bro. Any questions, dude, let me know. Ricky, real quick, Epic. Is it Epic Chain? The only reason why I ask is because this looks like this is an Ethereum-based project right here. Let's go over to DeFi real quick. Real quick before we click into anything. Look at DeFi, the 24-hour on my list right here. You can see just yesterday this was like brutally red. And look at this. Massive bounces on all, or not all, but most of DeFi on the list right now. If not, yeah, I was going to say not all, but most of them. That is it. All right. Let's go over here. Epic Chain. EOS. Thank you so much again for the $5 super chat, bro. I appreciate that, bro. I really do, man. Let's see here. So Epic Chain is rapidly expanding to become one of the fastest growing RWA, real world asset ecosystem in Web3. In Web3, operating in over 150 countries. It is focused on building the world's first RWA superstructure, aligning individuals and institutions across every major asset class, from consumer goods to capital markets. Fanable is the flagship consumer RWA product native to Epic Chain, generating over 1.2 million in annual on-chain fees. It is rapidly becoming the leading RWA project in the consumer goods sector. So I mean, here we go. I was going to say it sounds good, but where the hell does XRP come into this? Because it's an Ethereum-based project. So additionally, Epic bridges XRP to RWA products this quarter. This quarter, Epic is launching a series of products that connect XRP directly to major real-world economies. With Ripple as the investor, Epic remains committed to becoming a premier RWA product within the XRP community. I hear you. I see you. So this right here, I mean, like, I'm intrigued, right? I'm intrigued because right here, it sounds like they have, or it sounds like they're building to where they can really start building and bridging. Because like I said, an Ethereum-based DeFi project, right? But they're trying to bridge over, or they're going to be bridging, if they haven't already, over to XRP. Like they said, basically XRP is going to be funding, right? With Ripple as the investor, Epic remains committed to becoming a premier real-world asset product within the XRP community. And also, what they said was that they what did it say? They're launching a series of products that connect XRP directly to major real-world economies, right? Because you guys know XRP is essentially, I know some people probably like, it's not, but I mean, it's essentially like a bank, right? Like a banking token, banking coin, right? Which XRP, I think, would one day would love to be some kind of a currency, right? We always hear cryptocurrency. I hate using that term, but this right here would probably be the the epicenter of a cryptocurrency. XRP, is essentially what it is, right? Some kind of a financial, some kind of a currency. Doesn't need to take over a country's currency, but can be some kind of a worldwide currency, that has value within all currencies, if that makes any sense. So with this right here, Epic Chain, $55 million market cap, that has a lot of potential. I do agree with Ricky. This does have a lot of potential. And trading, it looks like it's trading on crypto.com. It's on Binance, Gate, Mexi, KuCoin. So it's on a lot of different central exchanges. And like I said, it technically is an Ethereum-based project. So if you do have an Ethereum wallet, you could directly get this off of your MetaMask or whatever, your DeFi Ethereum wallet, if this is something that you're interested in. So, I mean, it looks good, bro. It looks good. It's up. I mean, it's up slightly. Let's look at the daily here. Oh, it's up 13% today. So it's having a nice little move towards the upside. So, yeah, I mean, it looks good, bro. The fact that it's at a $55 million market cap, I mean, has massive potential, right, for an upside. So definitely appreciate that. Ricky wanted to make sure he puts this on stream. So then, like 6 months from now, when this thing's like 10x's, he comes back and he's like, can you check out, he does this all the time. He goes, can you check out Epic Chain? Right? And I'm like, all right, I pull it up and it's up like 7,000%. I'm like, bro, why didn't you tell us about this? And he's like, oh, I did, and then he'll refer back to this stream. So got to keep an eye out on him, man. But yeah, this looks like it has potential, bro, for sure. Appreciate you bringing it up. Definitely appreciate that, man. Let's see here. So we talked about the ETFs. Obviously, 2 weeks is what they're claiming from now. 2 weeks potential Grayscale Solana ETF. We have a 1 o'clock Eastern Standard Time meeting in regards to today with the SEC and the CFTC. You guys can stream that live today. Across the board, we're in the green. Bitcoin is above $114,000 as of now. And let's see here. Ethereum is edging up towards that $4,200 mark. So, guys, I think it is safe to say that today is a decent day in the market. Nice little bounce, definitely in the market. Also, as of 2 hours ago, Strategy just bought $22 million worth of Ethereum at around 113K. That was a little bit earlier today. So, a nice little buy off of, and I say little buy. Obviously, that's a massive buy. But for, Michael's Strategy, they're just, it's like almost like us when we spend $100 or $200 just, picking up little bits more of whatever project we're bullish on. That's basically what he's doing, right? $22 million, he's buying a little, just adding 200 Bitcoin to his stockpile. Right now they hold, he picked up 196 Bitcoin. To put this into terms, he picked up 196 Bitcoin today, right? For 22.1 million. That now puts them at 640,031 Bitcoin as of now, right? Isn't that insane? Absolutely insane. Oh my God. Holy shit, guys. This ain't good. Just in 3 hours ago, Jim Cramer said buy crypto. Shit. Wait, hold on. Jim Cramer post buy crypto. Thankfully, he did not post buy Bitcoin. Oh my Lord. He said buy crypto. That's probably even worse. If you guys know Jim Cramer, you always do the opposite, inverse Cramer effect. Hopefully this is the one time it doesn't work. Why does he have to? He shouldn't just stay away from crypto. Stay away from crypto, bro. Look, a lot of people right here watching Solana's ecosystem grow, watching a rocket prep for liftoff. A lot of people are getting real bullish on Solana. A lot of people are getting bullish on Solana. People talking about $302 million in shorts have been liquidated in the past 24 hours. Bears are getting beeped. According to Ash Crypto, shout out to Ash Crypto. You guys can follow him on X. He says the most bullish quarter, meaning Pumptober, November, December, for alts is coming. Don't play with leverage. Expect shakeouts. Exit your bags instead of taking screenshots. You hear that? And he has a chart here showing this is 2017 for alts, right? And this right here, this is basically showing, and I'm going to pull up something here in a second. This is showing you the market cap of altcoins, right? And you can see 2017, that was a 4-year cycle, right? Right in look at this too. The bottom, I know it's probably hard to see, but right here, this line shows basically the beginning of October, right? Not much of, we had a nice little move, but nothing too crazy. But look, towards the end of October, almost going right into November, that's when it began. And look at this, look at November. Just 8, this is massive, massive. You're talking about, this is all of the market cap of altcoins, right? So excluding Bitcoin, and look how much it shot up. Literally did a 5x. A 6x, almost a 7x in market cap. Fast forward, 2020, right? 21. I'm sorry, 2020, 21. I keep saying 2021. You can see same thing, right? 21, massive breakout. And then here we are back into 2025. Same thing, right? October, he has the line. We're waiting to see, right? Waiting to see where we're going to be. Ricky said, oh crap, we're screwed. Hopefully it's just the one time that Kramer, I just wish he wouldn't. If he's going to say anything about crypto, just be negative about it, right? So we can all be positive. Because I know it's all joking around, but damn it, it always ends up playing out. He literally called out so much stuff before. I never forget, it was back in 2021, 22 or something. He was buy Netflix. And Netflix dropped 70% in the next few weeks. It ended up ripping a year later, way past where he said to buy, but it's just that inverse Kramer effect, bro. So this chart that we have right here, we've been talking about this for a while. This is basically the market cap. This is the market cap of altcoins, excluding the top 10, right? So obviously no Bitcoin, no Ethereum, not even Solana, no stable coins, nothing. This is just basically, everything else other than those big caps, right? And you can see, I have it marked basically 4-year cycles, right? Where we topped out back in 2017, 2021, and technically, right, this is not going to happen on the exact same day, but this is technically which would be our 4-year cycle, which would be November the 10th of this year would be the actual 4-year mark. It's not going to hit exactly on that day. There's a 90% chance that it's not going to happen, right? Like I said, we easily this can be an extended cycle, right? We're just going off of this until proven wrong. But you can see for the market caps, even during the period that we just had, right? We did break a little bit below this trend that we do have, right? We've done it before, right? This goes all the way back to April of this year. So the last 4 or 5 months, you can see we've had, moves towards the upside. We break the cycle, the trend, right? But we get back on track, bounce. We broke a little bit below, right? And you can see now we're back on the trend line of making higher lows as we continue, right? So I'm sure as we continue to move, this is going to continue to move. I think at some point, this trend line is not even going to matter because we're going to see some kind of an explosive move where right now, we're kind of bouncing off the trend. And I think at some point, we're going to see something like this. Like, I know it sounds crazy, but something like that where it's just explodes towards the upside as a lot of retail and FOMO kicks in at some point coming up in these next few weeks / next few months. So big things, I think, still ahead of us. Basically the same thing that we've been talking about for the last year. Really what we've been really doubling down on the last like 8 weeks, right? Because this is nothing new. We knew how September was going to be, right? We knew it was going to be brutal. I think going through it, talking about it, right, is one thing, but actually going through it is two different things, right? We talked about this September, all of August, right? But going through even September, this past few weeks, even myself, I'm like, bro, this sucks. It's boring. It's boring. But at the same time, I put all that aside, and some of the stuff that I was buying was down like crazy. So what was I doing? Just accumulating, right? Accumulating and putting my portfolio away because I'm not even looking at it. Just kind of just waiting until we get to where we're pretty much in these next few days getting into October, right? And I don't think that right when we hit October, the markets are going to explode, right? It's probably going to take, a little time. Hopefully it does work out like that. Hopefully before we even get into October, like today, tomorrow, these next few days, we've already started a nice pump, but hopefully we can continue and just rip into Pumptober. So, but at the end of the day, guys, good things are, I think, heading towards our way, right? We're already kind of in it. So be strong. Like I've been telling you guys, be strong, especially my members. We've been talking about this for a while. Keep bringing it up, preparing ourselves for all this that's coming, right? And, shifting as the market moves next, as we start pumping, really looking for those red flags indicating a top signal. I don't think we're anywhere near that, but eventually that's what we're going to be shifting to in the member streams, really trying to find and get closest to the top of these the market, because it's going to be coming, guys. So, and it'll be fast. So with that being said, that is pretty much it. I'm going to let you guys go. Shout out to EOS for the $5. Shout out to all the members. Shout out to everybody that came today. Shout out to the people that hit the like button. Hit the damn like button, all right? If you're watching it after the fact, hit the like, hit the subscribe. We'll be back here. If Bitcoin breaks 115, I'll be back here. I will literally come streaming right back. So make sure you guys are subscribed so you can just get that alert. And even if you're working, you can just listen to me chat, about Bitcoin hitting 115. All right. All right, guys. Thank you so much. Have a great Monday. Let's have a great week. Be productive, and I'll see you guys all back here either soon at that 115 mark, or I'll be back here tomorrow. Okay, guys? All right, guys. Thank you so much. I'll see you guys later.